The UK government is evil. And after watching this, yeah, it's pretty damn evil.
This horrific rape in Leamington, because some of the details here are absolutely appalling.
So this
and
just
I'm sharing
happened.
them with you for full transparency about what happened in that case, but I also give a warning before I do about some of them. 2 Afghan asylum seekers dragged a 15-year-old girl into a secluded area of woodland and raped her. The girl...
So to Afghanistan, okay.
These stories are never pleasant to listen to, but they have to be covered, and the mainstream media does a very poor job of covering them. And so I feel compelled to every once in a while at least cover one of these stories to raise awareness.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Cried out for help. Indeed, she managed to record her begging of a passing woman. At one point, a woman is heard asking the 15-year-old, "Are you all right?" The girl replies, "No, help me, please help me. So many people have walked past me. I want to go home. Please, please, help me, help me. They are going to rape me."
So everybody just basically just let this, oh my God, that's sick.
Yeah, it's terrible.
The girl, who can't be named because she is entitled
She's
to
underage,
anonymity, the court was told eventually managed to get away and recorded several selfie-type videos demonstrating what they say was extreme distress, crying and hyperventilating. In the video after the ordeal, she could be heard sobbing, "Oh my God, I've just got effing kidnapped. I thought I was going to be dead. Every single one of these people are driving past me. Help me, someone. Please, please help me. Why is no one helping me? Please, someone." Her mother said in a victim impact statement, "We have watched our vibrant, happy and confident daughter shrink down and suffer from anxiety so bad that she's often physically sick."
I'm glad that people are talking more about this because the PTSD that...
I am glad people are talking more about this because people are actually talking about this. This, I have to say, for example, in the UK, in terms of this topic, the UK grooming gangs, that story first broke in 2003. That was when this is the UK grooming gang. The first story in this Channel 4 News, detail witnesses interviewed. The entire story was broken then, but the media didn't cover it. You see, when one newspaper or one channel covers a story, if no one else picks it up and raises awareness, that story just dies. And that's happened again and again. Occasionally throughout the years, stories about the grooming gangs and the problems with rape, and just the mainstream media as a whole just completely ignores it and pretends the problem doesn't exist. That's why it happens. People are angry. It's like the UK government is evil, is what Asmongold says. But no. The problem is the media. The solution to this is a functioning media. Is a media that when there's an outrageous, outlandish story, it covers it and raises awareness, and people demand action from the government, and the government does the action. But if you have a complacent media or a media that's covering it up, there's no pressure on the government to do anything, and government's bureaucracies, their default state is inertia, inaction. And so the real problem, the real reason this is happening is the media not doing their job, and when a story like this breaks, not covering and informing the public about it.
One of these interactions creates in a person is like it's massively damaging, and for some people the effects of that turn out to be worse than what even happened to them. It's not they end up killing themselves.
Yes, like the last month we looked at a story of that girl in Spain that was went to a hostel with immigrants, with migrants, and because I think there was an issue with her family, she gets raped. She tries to kill herself, damages her back so she can't walk anymore. And then she qualified for the state's assisted death program. The state then kills her. The state that put her in a hostel with migrants so that she was raped, then later helps her kill herself. Oh my God. It's so annoying.
Selves over it. Like
the point is that people get raped, then sometimes try to kill themselves. It completely ruins their lives. That was the underlying point.
it fucks up their entire life. Yeah, it's life altering. Exactly. And especially keep in mind, this is, you know, you're 15 years old, right? I mean, this isn't a, you know, like a 33-year-old woman having this happen. This is a child having this happen.
This has affected every aspect of her life. Something broke in all of us that day.
Cheers to you both.
Yeah, I bet.
The two Afghans who were living
and then also, like, that's another thing too, is that there's the family PTSD, right? Where it's like, not only are you like, let me give you an example of like how maybe you guys might be able to relate to this, is that have you ever had like a parent that,
it might sound strange, considering the topic and what's being discussed, but I'm actually just this happening right here. It fills me to hope, because this has been going on constantly since 2003. And I've read stories about it when I was doing lots of research during the 2008 financial crisis, and I learned about a lot of the stuff happening in the world. And there's nothing like hearing a story like this, seeing videos of the victim, whatever, and no one else knows. 99% of people never know. The media doesn't cover it. The alternative media misses the story. And you just know this is happening, and no one knows. Now, yes, it's terrible that this is happening today with this story. But right now you have Asmongold on a video that for right now already has 5 hours old video with 300,000 views. People are learning. And I've been trying to help with that. Yes, it's horrible knowing stuff like this is happening, but it's even worse knowing stuff like this is happening and no one is finding out about it.
That, or like somebody who was older that you were looking after that had something bad happen to them, like they fell down, they got sick, or something like that happened, and you weren't there, like you tried to call them, they didn't pick up the phone, and so like it stressed you out, you came over and there's something wrong. Think about how that probably negatively affected you in the future, right? And like now you're thinking about that, now you're stressed out about that. So now every time that this family probably calls the daughter, she's not at home, like now they're stressed out about that too, right? So like people don't understand.
And it's even worse for the victims of this, like, think about the girls involved with this that have had their lives completely wrecked, and the rest of people just don't understand the trauma they got. They don't even realize what's happening. The rest, no one has any sympathy for them because migrants raping women, that is not happening. Media would cover it if that was happening.
And the AOE damage that the PTSD from a negative reaction like this will cause. It's horrifying.
Hotel, having just arrived by boat, have been sentenced to 10 and 9 years in prison. The Telegraph reports that Jan Jadzeb turns 18 in less than a month and will be automatically deported after serving his sentence.
It's horrible it's not getting exposed. Well, it's not being exposed by mainstream media because we can go into all the reasons for that. Ideological and political. Like there is a deep state. There is an establishment that wants to keep it quiet, and then there is, of course, the ideological sign of you can't be racist to talk about. The criminals in this case are definitely not white, so yeah, there's that. But at least now the alternative media is so huge that there's this, like Elon Musk retweeting stories about this, and Asmongold covering it, and it's reaching out a huge number of the people still, and there's growing pressure to do something. And that's considering how things were just 10 years ago or 5 years ago. Stories like this, there'd be no hope of ever changing anything because no one's even aware of what's happening.
But the court heard that his date of birth was unknown, so an age assessment has been carried out by specialists. So I wonder then how we know that he turns 18 in a month if we don't actually know this individual's date of birth. And therein lies a very, very big part of a very, very big problem. We have no idea who these people are. We barely know where they come from.
Here's a good way to look at it. Any of the people that think that this is okay, would you be okay with removing and getting rid of the sex offender list?
A lot of, let's say anyone who gets into legal trouble, like in South America, or depending in Europe, in Africa, or Asia. If, let's say someone rapes a girl in Afghanistan and the entire village finds out and they're out to hang him, what do they do? They run away to another country where they have no documentation, and they see it now have a clean slate. And you now have leftists that, you may have done something horrible where you came from, but now you have dedicated leftists fighting for your cause and helping you integrate with Europe and getting you jobs, providing you free housing and everything. So you might have done something absolutely reprehensible and ruined someone else's life back home. But now yeah, it's thing is, yeah, a lot of people that drop everything and decide to migrate to another country, they do so for a reason that they're trying to escape something, escape maybe something they've done. And that's been true for all of human history. There's reason why outsiders were often vagabonds, were viewed with suspicion, is because in a lot of cases they're running from something.
So basically, like, you don't have to register for being a sex offender. You don't have to do anything, you know, like that at all. And so, like, yeah, there's no reason. So nobody would say that they are in favor of removing the sex offender list, right? Because, well, what if a sex offender, like, I don't want to have a sex offender living near me. They are. Not all of them. And here's another thing. Many people on the sex offender list don't reoffend. They don't. They commit a crime, they do something really bad, and they never do something bad like that ever again. But they're still on the sex offender list. Not allowing people to remove these, you know, like migrants that are totally unvetted is the...
And just think of the cost. Like these two teenagers, or maybe not teenagers, we don't know their age, 8 years in jail, the cost of the trial, all that cost, and then the cost of deporting them. How much money could the UK have saved just not allowing them in the country to begin with? It's such a drain. Not only do they wreck a young girl's life, but we then have to pay so much money to keep them in prison and then send them away. It's just insane.
Be effectively the same thing as just getting rid of the sex offender list. You guys see where I'm coming from with this?
And the rage that I feel about this story, and the rage that you feel about this story, this kind of, actually, I find genuinely barely containable rage, leads to perhaps a desire to bring in a few of the more kind of Trumpian ends of the ideas about what should happen next. And I would quite candid with you, quite a few of those ideas have flickered through my mind. And
I don't think that's the Trumpian. You don't need the Trumpian.
Yeah, Asmongold is already more extreme than Trump, and frankly, I am too. It's until we have stories like this stop happening at all, I think we need to move a lot of people out of the countries. That there should be no stories about the 15-year-old being dragged into a street alley and then violated. That should zero stories.
Ideas. It's not good enough. See,
and just to risk one or two of these people, then we have to pay for their jail. Then we have, which is a huge expense. Those are all expenses that could have gone to UK citizens or to more useful purposes. Jailing migrants that shouldn't be in the country to begin with is such a waste of money.
Don't ever think that that's enough. It's not.
The last 24 hours. But I am trying extremely hard not to let the jerk in knee-jerk win.
Yeah.
However,
it's not a knee-jerk, it's the reality. It's common sense reality.
As the people of Crowborough, where 600 men are about to be deposited in an old army camp, as they set up a patrol group of local residents around the old barracks there, surely that has to be an absolute minimum now for any place housing large numbers of asylum-seeking.
You are right in a lot of these people being exploited. We'll watch a video on that, another Asmongold video that connects directly to that in a second.
Men, we cannot have groups of random, bored, culturally incompatible men wandering around towns and villages of places unfortunate enough to be burdened with this.
Fucking based.
Exactly.
And also, I completely disagree with it.
And also, okay, let me put my position. The very first thing we need to change is the paying for the housing of these migrants. Letting them in or not deporting them, that's insane enough. But all these occasions in the United States and UK and other places where the government not only doesn't deport them, but then spends thousands of pounds or dollars putting these migrants up in hotels. These two migrants here, in this case, bet you they were their lodging was paid for by the UK government. So it's not only the prison we paid for their housing before the incident too. It's just, that is most insane of all. Yeah, first thing, cut all the funding for anything, any housing benefits for migrants. First thing, then work on deporting them.
I think that just the notion that you
use the money you save from cutting their housing to hire more agents to deport them.
Need to have an entire police enforcement mechanism to make sure that these people don't rape your kids. I think that should tell you something like maybe they shouldn't be here. Like, yes. Maybe if you need, oh, well, guys, I think we need an enforcement mechanism that makes it to where all of the rapists are being regulated. Well, yeah. Well, why do you even have it? Like, I mean, think about the question, why are they even here in the first place if you need to have a separate police system now to regulate and, like, basically be a countermeasure for just them being in the country, period? Think, like, who do you don't need to do this for regular British.
You import a lot of third worlders into a high trust society like Britain. And yeah, it's a disaster because 15-year-old teenage girls think they can walk the streets without danger. And then they get dragged into an alley.
Citizens, then why? Like, think about how ridiculous this is. This is crazy. This is like saying, I'm going to hit myself in the head with a hammer, so I need to start wearing a helmet. Well, here, let me give you a good fucking idea. Stop hitting yourself in the fucking head with a hammer. You won't need the helmet.
Yep.
At a minimum, the rule has to be you cannot leave the facility you're being fed and watered in until we know who you are or until your claim has been processed. Otherwise, the status quo carries on. And
we're talking about claims being processed. Remember the video we watched the other day of how all these NGOs are helping these migrants claim that they're gay in order to get special status and stay in the country. So we have huge groups of men, 100% of them straight, all claiming to be gay just so that they can rig the system and stay in the UK. When you have situations like this, processing them, I think processing them is the problem. It should be just deporting.
I just don't see how anyone can conclude that that is the best way forward, that we just let the same things we've always done keep happening with results being like this. So what is the response? I'll give you one. This is the former Prime Minister, Liz Truss. Now, you say what you like about Liz Truss, but she was Prime Minister for a bit.
It's annoying hearing you talk like this isn't in every way on purpose. I think it is on purpose, and I think that they are doing it on purpose. And my opinion on how to solve it would get me banned.
Yes, it is on purpose. The covering it up is on purpose. The rape itself isn't the purpose. The purpose is bringing in a large amount of migrants for cheap labor and to boost the housing markets so that housing prices never go down and create a financial problem. The rape is just a byproduct that gets covered up.
And what I think...
Well, and yes, there are some groups that want to create a non-white, this homogeneous group across all of Europe that's Muslim and does no loyalty to the countries they're in and has just loyalty to the EU and destroy national identities to consolidate power in Brussels. Yes, there is that angle. From the Brussels for allowing this to happen.
Should happen to the people that were doing it. Like, I'd get banned about my opinion. But you can expect that it's exactly what you think it is.
She's just said these horrific crimes.
Yeah, you know how Reddit is, Proton Snail. You can't be saying anything sensible there. You should know better.
Are happening daily in Britain. The whole system, including the mainstream media, is suppressing the truth. She says the Human Rights Act needs to be repealed. All migration from Afghanistan should be stopped. Is that's too knee-jerk? Is that too knee-jerk?
No. It's not enough. Not only should it be stopped, but you need to reverse.
Yes, the reverse. It's not just a question of stopping, it's reversing at this point.
Migration. You need to look at all of the people that were brought here over the last 30 years, and any of them with any criminal charges, immediately remove them. And any of them that are like net negative taxpayers, remove them and also seize all their assets and send them back to the country they came from. Like, it's not enough.
None of these, like, all the people, like Somali population in the United States, like 80-90% on welfare. Just, and these are new immigrants, and or the ones who have been here 10 years, doesn't matter. They're all on welfare. And Compare this to Americans that have lived here for centuries and paid taxes for centuries, fought wars for America, died for America, and now their taxpayers are being spent on new immigrants that haven't contributed anything and vote as a bloc for their own interests. It's infuriating.
To just simply stop the problem, because you still have the problem. Like, stopping the problem is good, but you have to also reverse the damage.
Yes. And hearing Asmongoon say this, I'm just so curious for the day where he learns the full truth of what has been done to the Western populations. Like, for example, Iran-Contra, the smuggling in of tons of drugs by the CIA that decimated neighborhoods. The fact that, yes, government isn't involved with a lot of these drug smuggling operations because their entire purpose is to dollarize the world. The cash from the drug sales is smuggled out of the United States and is used as currencies in countries around the world. And that is the primary method where we keep inflation down in the United States. Because if you print money and that money disappears overseas, there's no inflation. So if he learned that, for example, what would his opinion be on that? All these types of stories I look forward to with the fullness of time, him slowly learning about.
Go back 2 generations, get the whole line. Yeah, I would do like, let's say, oh, I was born here. Yeah, well, I mean, like, I don't care. You've got to go back. Too bad. You're not supposed to be here. Your parents.
Yeah, I agree. Just because you were born here, it doesn't.
Parents shouldn't have been here. You're not supposed to be here either.
Can't.
If you don't have legal immigration status when someone is born in a country, if their parents don't have legal immigration status, that the child should not be given nationality of that country,
and shouldn't judge the whole by the part.
Yeah.
So we can't judge every person from
Of course, it doesn't matter. Like, this language that you use is just silly.
Afghanistan on the basis of actions of, in this case, 2 people.
It's not 2 people.
So that's too far for me. But I'm again, candidly, that thought's crossed my mind too, and I can't. I think the reality is that there is a small percentage of people that are immigrants from every single country that will integrate just fine.
Yes, and usually that small group is because they admire the country that they're going to. They've studied it beforehand. They're like, for example, someone huge fan of Japan, Japanese anime. They studied it for decades. They go over. They're hugely respectful. That type of immigrant, every country is okay with. It's if the primary purpose of why someone travels to a country is because they admire the culture and that way of life, and they're trying, even before arriving in the country, to adapt to it, that type of immigrant, I think everyone's okay with. What's not okay is economic migrants that are just coming to make a buck, have no respect for the country, no attachment, don't value the norms, the culture, whatever, and they are just coming in. And then you have problems. They don't adapt. Also, religion is a huge issue. No one changes their religion when they immigrate. So you let a huge amount of people from a different religion into your country. That's going to fundamentally change the culture of your country, because so much of culture is tied directly to religion, like Easter, Christmas, so many major holidays, major events are tied to religion. So religion should be a factor when considering who you're letting into the country. If you don't want huge cultural shifts, because that creates civil war, that creates strife. And so many wars being fought over religion. And if you import enough so that now you have 2 huge groups in your country, you're going to have problems.
Whether they're from Somalia, Afghanistan, China, Russia, or anything. Like, I'm sure that we have Somali immigrant Americans that have no problems and aren't causing any problems. I don't think we need to send.
Well, remember, like 10% of Somalis aren't on welfare. So 10% of them are working hard or are trying. So there are some
them back, but we need to look at the ones that are doing things wrong, and we need to go after them instead. And the way that you do that is you set up high standards, and then you simply hold people to those standards. That's the way you do it.
The reason why I say I'm not sure that's going to work is it does judge the whole by the part, and that sort of isn't fair.
Fairness is that I care about is having a 15-year-old girl walk down the streets without being afraid of being dragged into an alley. That's the fairness I care about. And the fairness to people living outside of my country, yeah, no, I'm worried about the fairness for people that are citizens of my country that have lived their whole lives, and I want them to be able to live in safety. Fairness to the people outside the country, that, sorry, I don't give a rat's ass. You worry about yourself and those close to you and your brethren first, and your countrymen first, not those on the other side of the world.
The entire idea of it not being fair is a total inversion of the moral responsibility that you have to protect your country.
Yeah.
Your idea that it isn't fair, and so because you've come to the conclusion that it's not fair, the result of that is that women in your country get raped. How is that fair to them? Your responsibility as a person who's supposed to protect their country or do something to benefit other people is to act in a way that is in the best interest of other people that cannot act for themselves. And this is the big issue that happens, is that you're thinking about, like, from my perspective, you should not even be considering what's fair to Afghanistan migrants. They should be lucky they're here in the first place. They shouldn't even be here anyway.
Yeah.
So what's fair?
We have laws. Countries have laws, immigration laws. They're breaking our immigration laws. Why are we thinking about their feelings or what's fair to them? You mean, you worry about fairness for the criminal? So they break the laws once coming into the country, and then you're supposed to ignore that and until they commit other crimes like dragging a girl into an alley?
Fair to them, even if it is unfair to them, who cares? Who gives a fuck? Like, the focus should be on your own people. Like, you
absolutely. And if you want to focus on like these, if you think, oh, poor Afghan people, you know what? What they used to be? Foreign aid. They used to be you're a big part budgets to fund foreign aid, schools in third world countries. Now, instead of that, instead of helping hundreds of thousands learn how to read through foreign aid, they are helping a few thousand have houses inside their own countries. Because budget for foreign aid was the first thing that was cut when the cost of migrants became out of control in Europe.
You shouldn't even be thinking about them.
But at a bare minimum, the idea that you would have hundreds...
And if you truly care about helping people to think...
Big Mitchum.
I remember Asmund watching the Artemis mission, and his chat was like fake. He said, yeah, guys, the moon was fake, sarcastically, so you couldn't tell if he was serious or not, just gaslighting his chat. No. He thinks the moon is real. He's still, on that side, he is very much normie. Like, he's pro-Iran war, for example, or at least he was as of like 2-3 weeks ago. And yeah, that's he's also, he may say you don't trust the media enough, you don't hate the media enough, but he believes the media on stuff like Iran, like, or the moon mission, like wholeheartedly. For my part, I haven't really looked into the whole moon mission in deeply. I did see one green screen mishap clip that I wasn't able to get the source, but was very suspicious. But what I do know in the research I did during the period where all U.S. was supposedly doing all these moon missions, behind the scenes, people at the Treasury were panicked about what was going on with the dollar and the goal trying to defend the dollar's value abroad. That was the entire focus of the U.S. government at that point, was trying to stabilize the dollar. Would a government whose entire purpose is trying to conserve money really be spending billions on moon exploration when they already control the media and could do cheap fakes like filming stuff on Earth? So I don't know for sure. It's not something I've researched. I am suspicious about whether we really went to the moon. I don't know for sure, but yeah, if we're talking about that, view channel, playlist, videos, part 3, I think it was.
300 people.
No. I have to watch the video so I know exactly where the parts is. No, there's some articles that I have in this video that show just how desperate the United States was with regard to what was going on with the dollar. Okay. I won't go through this now. It was a Wall Street Journal article from way back. Okay, I'm not going to get sidetracked with that. Let's continue with next video I wanted to watch.
Oh God, I was gonna look at this. This is really fucking embarrassing. So this woman here, mountain farm owner, struggles to find workers as immigration enforcement tightens.
It's just been harder and harder.
Don't you feel sorry for her?
Harder to find those people to work.
Bethany Gotts owns Quay's Farm in Mountain Home, but now with fewer workers, a lot of the manual labor is left up to her. She tells me she's tried hiring locally, but it's been difficult to find people willing to do the hard work.
Finding a legal American here that is going to work as hard as an...
It's not about working as hard, is work as cheap. Legal Americans are willing to work hard, trust me.
Immigrant is nearly impossible.
She even posted job openings on Facebook.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had no people respond.
Yeah. We're gonna find out how. We're gonna find out why.
Gotts says the increase in immigration enforcement.
One thing I will say is, at least on one angle, this is the government's fault. The government, by allowing all these migrants into the country, that means any farm that wants to be competitive has to use migrant labor. If the farm next to you is paying its workers $20 an hour for a $70 work week, if you're paying $40 for your farm, your labor, you're going to go under. You're going to have to, your farm is going to close. You're going to have to sell. You need to use migrant laborers too. And if everyone's using this cheap labor and that there's more crops because of it, crop prices go down. And now any farmer is doing things legit, they go under. It's so to one extent, I am sympathetic in that if things were functioning well in this country and no one was using migrants, prices of food stuff would be higher. She wouldn't need to look for cheap labor. Farmers have been screwed over. Like honest farmers that don't want to use illegal migrants. I don't even know how they can now operate.
Enforcement has made it harder to find migrant workers.
Just for context, this is all about illegal migrant workers. For some reason, the host and the farmer just refuse to say it.
It's heartbreaking because they are living in fear here, unemployed.
Yeah, and small, like, family farms that abide the rules and don't hire illegals go under, get bought by big corporations that hire illegal immigrants en masse. And that's the U.S. economy. That's been going on for decades.
Living in fear, and I don't blame them. They could get picked up at any moment, and then you're without an employee.
To keep her farm running, Gotts is now looking into the federal H-2A visa program, which allows
H-2A.
temporary agricultural workers into the U.S.
This year, I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing so that I can get H-2 workers next year.
You're buying a little slave shack for them? Oh, that's cute.
We love our workers. They're our family and they want to work and they will work hard, and there needs to be a path for these people in our country because our government has failed them.
So she's trying to literally hire indentured servants. She wants them to live on the farm and work 16 hours a day and do it for essentially slave wages. Anyway, people found the job listing. So take a look at this. Ranch hand needed. This is the salary, $2,600 to $3,000 a month.
By the way, as people pointed out, this is for 60 to 70 hours work weeks on average. That's why they say the salary is monthly and hours expected are not listed. This is potentially less than $10 an hour of very hard labor.
Experience 2 to 5 years. Looking for a competent ranch hand for 4,000 acres. Position is full-time.
Yes, she's having difficulty finding someone willing to work for $10 an hour, an American. Why would that be the case?
Permanent free housing. Oh yeah, you get to live inside of their little shack.
I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing. So
No, you got something like this right here. She wants slaves. Yeah. She said small twice.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had no people respond.
Yeah. So that's that's H-2B visas. Not great, in my opinion. That's why they want all this illegal immigrants, produces workers that work for $10 an hour. See how that keeps prices down in the United States? It might completely screw over the poor Americans looking for jobs, but it's great for the wealthy 1%. 1% richest American profit from this these H-2B1 visas and this unlimited immigration. Everyone else gets fucked over by increased crime, by lost job opportunities, yeah, it's not great. Anyway, this will be on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Please watch on Kick or Twitch. And I'll see you next video. Bye.